Sego. Sego. That's how we say hello in Mohawk. Can you guys try? Sego. Sego. You want to try? Good job. That's like how we say hello or bonjour. Or what are some other ways to say hello? How do you say it in hola? Hola. Mm-hmm. So, Sego. Hello. We look at all the classrooms coming on. Isn't that exciting? We just had to mute the microphone for a second because we have a crying baby in the background. Yep. So today is Orange Shirt Day or Truth and Reconciliation Day. I love seeing all the orange shirts. And I was asking the kids today, why we wear orange. And they were telling me the story of Phyllis Webstad. Has anybody heard the story of Phyllis Webstad and her orange shirt when she went to school? Probably a lot of us have. So it's really kind of cool. Yeah, we got thumbs up. We got thumbs up. That's great. So yeah, we were talking about Phyllis and how she brought her orange shirt and it was taken from her. But today we wanted to talk about some of the other things that were taken from these children during these residential schools. And Billy, where's your orange shirt? We got to get Billy an orange shirt. He's just wearing his Haudenosaunee. All right. I think we're ready to get started. 9:30. All right. Everybody that's here is here, and everybody that isn't, they can watch this replay, and we can start the recording right now. So Sego, Skanagoga, Leila Station Yats, Ahnawara Niwa Gita Roden, Ganyak Tehaga, Niwa Go Jordan, Oswego, Nidawageno. So what I said was, hello, my name's Leila Stats. I'm Mohawk Turtle Clan from the Six Nations of the Grand River. And these are all my wildlings. And in our way of being, we pass all of our clans, all of our strength and power, our identity comes from our mother, because we are a matriarch society. So all these kids, they are also Turtle Clan because I'm a Turtle Clan. So today is Orange Shirt Day, and we were talking about Phyllis Webstad. But sometimes, when we talk about residential schools, it can be kind of sad, right? Like when we talk about all the bad things that happened to those kids, I mean, there was a lot of really horrific, terrible things. And sometimes this day can make us sad, because we wear these orange shirts. We wear them for all of the children that went to those schools. And my great grandmother went to the Mohawk Institute residential school. So their great grandmother went to the school. So we wear these shirts to remember them. But today I wanted to change things up a bit. And it's kind of interesting because we have classes on this live stream all the way from kindergarten to university. Okay, so we have a class that's joining us from the University of Guelph. So this is kind of cool because we are all learning some of the stuff that I'm going to teach you here today for the very first time. So whether you're in kindergarten or whether you're in university, this could be the first time you're ever hearing this. So the first thing we want to do is start in the way in which we start everything. So this is one of our fundamental core beliefs and practices and traditions as Haudenosaunee, as Mohawks. And it's called the Thanksgiving address or the opening address. In Mohawk, we call it the Oheda Gariwadegwa. And that translates to the words before all else. The words before all else. So what does that mean to you? What do you think that means to you? To me, that means that those are the most important words, right? They come before everything. They come before, how are you doing? How was your day? Like they are the words before anything. Nothing would ever happen. No meetings, no birthdays, no celebrations, no ceremonies, no gatherings. No single day would begin without first acknowledging this opening. And you think about it, when Indigenous children would start their day, they would start their day with this practice of spending this time to give gratitude and thanks for all living things around us. Now, when I was in school, I was never taught that. Nobody ever taught me that. And that's why, you know, some of these teachings have been lost, and definitely that was stemmed from residential schools. So we're going to share the opening address. These guys have heard it many times, and it reminds us to first give thanks. And so this video I'm going to share with you, it is in Mohawk, but even though you can't understand Mohawk and no one speaks Mohawk on the line, well, maybe some of you do, but most people don't speak Mohawk. But even though, I still want you to be able to, sorry, I'm just trying to get this to play. All right, hopefully this will work this way. I still want you to be able to follow the pictures on the screen, okay? And think about, as you see like a bird or you see the grass, I want you to think about your relationship to that living thing, okay? And in your head, I want you to think about, what does that thing do for me? What does it give to me? What do I give to it? So what do we give to the water? What does the water give to us? And what could we do better? So for each segment, I want you to kind of keep those questions in your head, and then we will come back. Okay. Let's do it. Are we ready? I think we're ready. To share audio. I'm not sure what's going to share my sound. I'm really worried that it's not going to share sound. Definitely should have tested this. Oh, I have an idea. This could work too.
Can we put it on TV? On the TV?
Did you guys introduce yourself? No. You got to introduce yourself. Okay, so first off, let me just make sure I think I got this though. Okay, I think I've got it working now. Okay, I think we're good. See, this is the fun of having your kiddos helping you with all. There we go. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so everyone, do I have your commitment that just for 2.5 minutes, 2.5 minutes, because this prayer in the Longhouse, guys, how long is this prayer in the Longhouse?
5 hours.
5 hours. Yeah, so this prayer can take a really, really long time. But that's how important it is, right? But we've shortened it with an elder from our community, Diahunde Miller, and it's only 2.5 minutes long, okay? So can I get your commitment that you will stick with us, you will pay attention, you will get grounded and connected for 2.5 minutes? Yeah, all right, thumbs up.
Daye tina warado na ungwai sua. Ito gari na yo tuhage na yungwa niguna. Daye tina warado na yeti nistaha johwanjade. Ito gari na yo tuhage na yungwa niguna. Daye tina warado na kahniga sua. Ito gari na yo tuhage na yungwa niguna. Daye tina warado na gunjo sua. Da eto na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Da etina wanado na yutunduni. Da eto na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Da etina warado na ono kwa suma. Da eto gari na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Da etina warado na asa nigunda de kohogua. Da eto gari na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Da etina warado na wahyaniunta. Da eto gari na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Da etina warado na kundirio. Da eto gari na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Da etina warado na garunda sua. Da eto gari na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Da etina warado na zita ogua. Da eto gari na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Da etina warado na gayeri ni gawarage. Da eto gari na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Taitina Horado Naiti Sotogum Radiweras, the Eto Garinayo Tuhage, and a Guanigura. The Sidawano Horado, Nate Sidawazia, and Jekene Garaqua. The Eto Garinayo Tuhage, and a Guanigura. Taitina Horado Naiti Sota Asta Neka Garaqua. The Eto Garinayo Tuhage, and a Guanigura. Taitina Horado, Nayoji Stock Quadonio, the Eto Gadino Itohage, Nenagua Nigura. Taitina Horado, Nadium Kiadado, the Eto Gadina Itohage, Nenagua Nigura. That Sidawano Horado, Nesungwaya Dizu, the Eto Gadino Itohage, Nenagua Nigura. The Eto.
Daito. Now our minds are one. So in our indigenous teachings, it said that, we bring our minds together in that good way. We connect to all of those elements of life and we become, more powerful. And whatever we do will, be supercharged with all of that good intention and good minds. So that opening, that was something that, it was not taught to us it was not taught to me when I was a kid. And as generational survivors of residential schools, these are the kind of teachings that have been lost that have not been passed down. And, that's why it's so important that I wanted to share them so much, because they have been such a gift to me on this reclamation journey. So 3 years ago, I had to teach myself. I had to teach myself the Mohawk language. I started to learn Ganyakeha. I started to understand this address, this Thanksgiving address, and I started to learn it. So I'm trying to learn it right now. Taiti nuarado de ungwe soa, taiti nuarado da yegi nage nistaha johonjade. But it's very difficult. The language is very tricky, and I have to reteach myself a lot of things. But this opening was a gift. And one of my elders, Tom Porter, he calls it the skeleton key. So you guys know, like, a skeleton key? The skeleton key is cool because it opens all the locks, right? It opens all of those old locks, and you just need one key and it opens all the doors. So that's what he said. He said, it is like the skeleton key that opens all the doors to this ancestral knowledge, to this ancient wisdom. All right, so I'm going to see if we can figure out this PowerPoint. My kids are like, you use PowerPoint, Mom? We use PowerPoint at school. So just wanted to check, were you guys able to see and hear
A video.
the video? I'm assuming somebody would have told me.
Oh, there's a thumbs up.
Somebody would have said if you were.
Many thumbs up.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
this
Okay,
is
good. We're going to pull up, stop presenting. You don't need to look at my emails, but we can go to our presentation. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so you already know who I am.
Layla.
Yes, and we know Orange Shirt Day. Look at you guys, so cute there. Like we said, it can be heavy. We're talking about these terrible things that happen to children. I remember I was singing, performing on the site of the Kamloops Residential School, where the very first little children's bodies were found buried. And that's what really sparked all of this awareness, because really, most Canadians didn't know. A lot of Canadians didn't know. I didn't even know what residential schools meant. And my grandparents went there because we didn't talk about it. So the Ojeda Garibategua, we talked about that, the words before all else. And this is a special ceremony that acknowledges, it recognizes all of that importance to our relationship. And it opens the door. Oops, going the wrong way. So who am I? I am Layla Stats, the mom of these awesome kids, and I am a water activist. I'm a Mohawk mom. I'm a filmmaker. So I just recently released my second documentary called Boil Alert, where I went to 7 different First Nations communities that had boil water advisories. And I, told their stories. I lived in these communities. I saw firsthand what our Indigenous communities are going through just to get access to clean water. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about land back. And, we talk about truth and reconciliation, we talk about land acknowledgements, but I like to put this way. One time a teacher was talking about land acknowledgements, and he said he took, so he went up to the student and he took their water bottle. So say this is their water bottle, and he took their water bottle and he took it and he put it on his desk. And he said, all right, students, I acknowledge that this is Beatrice's water bottle. And he put it on his desk. And then he left it there. And she's like, well, can I have my water bottle back? He says, well, I've acknowledged that it's yours. And then he takes it and takes a sip. I acknowledge this is Beatrice's water bottle. Do you see how that doesn't really equal? It doesn't really feel balanced, right? It's like, that's my water bottle. You're saying it's my water bottle, but you're keeping it and you're not giving it back, right? So that's why the land acknowledgements, it's like a land acknowledgement without action. So we're all saying we acknowledge that who the original caretakers are of this land that we benefit from. We acknowledge that they were here first, right? That's what we're saying. But then we have to take action. That's where the reconciliation part comes. So it's a truth accepted by everyone that we state at every event. People say them. Most schools, I bet your school has a land acknowledgement, right? Saying whose territory you're on. And now the reconciliation part is the action. So, how do you think that you could rewrite your land acknowledgement to have more action, to inspire people to actually make change towards that land acknowledgement, so that Beatrice isn't just sitting there looking at her water bottle on the teacher's desk, but she's actually using it and drinking from it. So when we talk about land back, my kids know all about land back, but some people, don't really understand what it means. And one of the things that I wanted to just really kind of make it clear, so that even if you're in kindergarten, you know what land back is, or if you're in university, you know what it is. And the first thing is, it's really important for us to honor the treaties. So there were original agreements that were made with Indigenous people on various parts of Canada, especially the one that we live in right here on Six Nations. So we live on Six Nations, where the Haldimand Treaty was created to promise the Haudenosaunee 6 miles each side of the Grand River, from the spout to the source to the spout, and forever, for all their posterity, for all their future generations to use. That was the original agreement. So honoring and knowing those treaties as Canadians, we have to stand up for them and say, hey, they are not being honored. That's not right. To protect and respect the land. So land back also means taking back our relationship with that land, not just owning it or just having title to it, or, this is their land, this is my land, but realizing that we are all connected to this land. We are in relationship to the land. And then hold our resource extracting practices to account. So does anybody actually know where the water in their tap comes from? Anybody know? Do you know which river it comes from? Do you know which processing plant it comes from? Do you know what they actually do to your water in those processing plants? Most of us don't. Most of us just turn a tap on and we don't think about it. So that's why I feel like it's very important for us, even as kids, to be informed and say, hey, Mom, where does our water come from? Hey, Mom, what happens to our water when it comes through the tap? Make sure your parents know, right? But there's so many things, like we don't realize what it takes to turn on the lights. When we're burning coal, we don't realize what it takes, what actual impacts that has. Does anybody know what it takes to mine coal? It is one of the most dirtiest processes. It leaves the water decimated. The land is destroyed. These open mines of coal, and it's just so dirty for the earth. But we don't even know. So that's one thing that land back means, is making sure that we know what's going on in the land. We know what's going on with our trees. Did you know how many trees have to be cut down to make paper? Did you know the process, the chemicals that they put in your paper just to make it white? Those same chemicals have been responsible for the poisoning of so many indigenous communities. One of them in particular, Grassy Narrows. We've met some people from Grassy Narrows, haven't we, that have mercury poisoning, and that mercury poisoning was from a paper mill. So these are things we don't even know. We didn't even know that it took poisonous chemicals to make our paper white, right? So knowing the land and water and you know what we're doing to it. I think having that relationship with the land and water is so important, and then being able to be accountable to that. So that's just a little bit about what land back means. So I want to show you guys a really cool video, okay? Because this is a brand new concept that was never taught to me when I was a kid, when I was in school. But as an indigenous person, our indigenous ancestors, they knew all this stuff. It's so crazy because it's like this ancient wisdom is proven now by science and technology. So I want to share a secret with you. You guys want to know a secret?
What? Yeah.
Water is
Alive.
alive. It's alive. Did you know that? Water is alive. It hears us.
It's a living thing.
It's a living thing, right? It actually has
Feelings.
It has feelings. Hendrix, are you teaching this class? You know this stuff, right?
It has a life.
It has a life. That's right. We're gonna sing them. We're gonna show you guys a song, a very special water song that we want you guys to learn and sing with us. But before we do, who here likes science?
No.
Do you like science experiments and no?
Really see them?
No?
I like science.
Oh,
yeah.
he likes science. He likes science. He likes science. She likes science. Okay, so some people like science. I am a real big super nerd. And I love science because I like science because it proves things. It makes things, you can see that things are true. And when science verifies ancestral knowledge, that is a pretty cool thing. Okay, so let me just pull up this guy here. Let me stop presenting. We'll stop presenting, so you stop looking here. So water, what are some things that you do know about water? We know that it boils, right? Water boils. Do you know what temperature it has to get to boil? Does anybody know?
Hot.
What?
360.
No. What degrees Celsius? It has to
371. I don't know numbers.
100. So 100 degrees Celsius, and it boils into steam. What else can water do? What about when it gets cold?
It freezes.
That's right. So it turns into ice. So water can be ice. It can be steam. So it freezes at 0, right? 0 degrees. And yeah, this is the one that I want. It freezes at 0. And then I want to show you guys this video. It's Dr. Emoto. So I found this really cool science experiment done by an amazing scientist in Japan, where he proved that water can hear us. You guys want to check it out?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. Okay. So yeah, so we learn all these things about water. We learn that it's, you know, all these scientific facts, but we never learn that it's alive, that it can hear us, that it can remember things. And so I'm just telling, there's so much stuff once your teacher starts going down this cool rabbit hole of Masaru Emoto. Dr. Masaru Emoto, he did this incredible experiment, oh, bless you, on the water. And so let's pull it up, see if we can get it going here. I think it'll work, should work. But you can just put it into, scientists. We studied the molecular structure of water. We looked at it under the microscope. We wanted to know, does human thought and emotions have any impact on What do you think? When water molecules are exposed, different motion. Molecular water change. Molecular level. The water you drink from you has memory. You guys want to see how the water molecules react? Yeah. Okay. So here's how the water molecules react. Show you. So this is when love and gratitude. I love you. How the water responds to you. Isn't it amazing? Music, that's if you say that, if you think that water is receiving the word. What do you know? Which one looks better? Which water looks better? Heavy metal music. Very interesting. Water changes. All right. So cool stuff. There's so many videos on that. You could just keep watching them all over. One of the things that I like to show is right here. So this was the difference. If you look at, can you see it? No, you're not looking. Show this tab instead. There you go. This is the difference here. You can see these two demonstrations. So it's like this one is you disgust me, remember? And this was I love you. So you can see the difference between you disgust me and how the water receives that and I love you. So the water is alive, right? It's hearing the difference between those words. It also that also tells us is that the words that we speak hold an energy, right? So if we're affecting the water that way, talking that way, do you think we're maybe affecting people too?
Yeah.
Because don't we have, what do we have inside of us? Water, right? So if we're speaking those words out into the water and it's affecting that, if we're speaking that to Emmy, the water inside her is also reacting just like that. Interesting, right? Interesting thoughts. So one of the things we like to do is we like to sing for the water because the water loves to hear us sing. And one of our favorite songs is the Mohawk Water Song. Can I have that?
Yeah.
So I actually, yeah, you can drum for sure. I actually have the lyrics right here, and you can screenshot it, or I can send you the text if you want. But I have the lyrics. So up here at the top is how it's written, and then down underneath it is kind of like a phonetic sounding out. So the first lines are Yunga Nalungwa. Yunga Nalungwa. Sorry. Yunga Nalungwa. And then Onega. Onega is water. Yunga Nalungwa. Onega. So that means we love the water. Yunga Nalungwa. Onega. So we say that twice. And then we say Ga Ne Ga Lunyu. Ga Nega Lunyu means all types of water. And Ga Nega Nulu means precious water. And then Gaya Nyao Yahea is just the end. Okay, so let's try. Even just listen to us first. Yunga Onega, Yunga Nalungwa Onega, Ga Nega Yolo, Ga Nega Nolo. Gaya Nyao Yahea, Yungana lumpa onega, yungana lumpa onega, gane anono, gane anono, gane heya. So, do you guys think you could do it? You think you could join along? So one of the things, you can't hear us? Yeah, they can hear us. Oh, them? Yeah, should we have every classroom? We can't hear you, but that might be crazy if we had everyone in front and, oh, Billy heard the song. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, don't worry about saying it right. Don't worry about getting it wrong. Don't worry about anybody next to you making fun of you or laughing at you or calling you silly, because we're all going to be silly together.
Turn the sound on.
And guess what? The water doesn't care. The water just wants to hear you. And so I feel like when we sing this song, it makes the water dance. And the water dances inside of all of us. So we're going to all dance. All right? Okay? Yungana lumpa onega, yungana lumpa onega, ganega yono, ganega nono, gaya nyawa heya. Yungana lumpa onega, yungana lumpa onega, ganega yono, ganega nono. Awesome. So now we're all of the water molecules inside of you, because you're like 95% water. They're all vibrating and dancing. So this is just like, it's funny because I spend a lot of time teaching people that the water is alive, that it feels us, that it knows us, that it hears us, that it remembers us. And, people are like, well, why don't you teach about all the boil water advisories? And why don't you teach about all the bad things going on in our communities? But really, I feel like this lesson, if we all just grasp this concept, this teaching that was meant to be passed down from generation to generation, that the water is alive, that the living world around us is connected to us, that we're part of it, then we could save this world from this climate crisis that we're in, right? Okay, so you have some homework. Who liked homework?
Not me. No.
This one's fun.
Oh.
This homework's fun. Okay, so if you do have any questions, or you want to come out here and say anything, or you want to share anything, you want to tell me a story about how you're connected to the water, I would love to hear it. Feel free, just like raise a hand or interrupt us or jump out here on the camera. We're totally open to that. Just FYI, this is being recorded, so you may be recorded. But yeah, so we have some homework for you, but this is super fun homework. So I was talking to an elder and I wanted to make a drum. And I said to him, Black Bear, I want to make a drum. What kind of wood should I use to make a drum? And he said, well, Layla, why don't you go ask the tree? And I kind of looked at him like, what? Ask the tree? But I actually want to know. Like, the tree's not going to tell me. Is this going to, tree, what kind of drum? What kind of wood should I use for my drum? He's like, you've never talked to a tree? Has anybody out here ever talked to a tree? You guys ever talked to a tree?
I did.
You guys do, because I make you. But the normal world and society, we're kind of told, like most people, when you say talk to a tree, they kind of think you're silly. They're like, you're talking to a tree? She wants us to talk to a tree. Even the fact that I'm telling you that you're going to go talk to a tree today, you're thinking I'm silly. And you might not even do it because you'll feel so silly doing it. You're like, oh, I feel dumb. I feel stupid doing this. But it's your homework, so you got to. So I want you to think, this is what Black Bear said. He said, can you think of a tree that knows you? Can you think of a tree that has seen you along your life, that's seen you at different times in your life? Maybe it's seen you when you're sad or happy, or seen you when you're a baby, or seen you on a good day or a bad day, can you think of that tree? One tree that knows you, right? You think of it? Okay. So this tree knows you, but have you ever introduced yourself to the tree? Have you ever gone up and said, "Hey, tree, my name's Emmy. I love karate. I I only eat cucumber sushis. My favorite color is purple.
I love that color.
And I love to eat cheesy macaroni. I want to climb trees. I love climbing trees. It's
That's
so nice
true.
to meet you. I'm so glad that we're friends. I'm so glad that we're here together. Thank you, tree, for everything you do, for all the air you give me and all the shade. Have we ever done that? Have you ever done that to that tree? Well, that's your homework. Today, you are going to introduce yourself. So today,
But
in
Mom, that tree is like
We need to do the homework.
yeah, everyone.
a long way.
Okay. Well, I'm sure there's some trees pretty close to you that know you too, that you can do your homework, right?
Yeah.
There's no shortage of trees anywhere. So-
Blackbird.
Okay. So your homework today is in support of. This is how we are going to acknowledge those children from those residential schools. This is how we are going to do our part in our path towards truth and reconciliation. Is we are going to take our relationship to the land back. We are going to create it. And we are going to have a relationship with the water and the trees. So I want you to introduce yourself. If it could be to a tree, it could be to water. Just I want you to go to a place that knows you, that you go back to all the time, that you can go back to anytime you need to. And I want you to introduce yourself. So it was funny, I was doing this exercise with a group of grown-ups, and they were all nurses, and they came out to the river, and they were here for 3 days with me. And the first day when I said, "Okay, ladies, I want you to go introduce yourself," they were like, thought I was crazy. They're like, "This lady is telling us to go talk to trees. She's nuts." And then the second day, I told them, "Okay, after today's exercises, I want you to go back to your tree, the same tree that you went to before, and I want you to tell it your story of the day. I just want you to sit there and tell the tree your story of the day, whatever the story was, whatever something that happened to you during this workshop, during our retreat." And so they went and they sat with their tree after every day in the retreat. And on the very last day, when it was time for everyone to go home, I said, "Okay, now it's time to go say goodbye to your tree." And these were grown-ups, and they were crying. They were taking pictures of their trees. They were taking selfies. This one lady hugged the tree. And she says, "Layla, thank you." She says, "I'm 55 years old. And this is the first time I have ever felt a tree hug me." Because she felt that tree. She felt that energy of that tree hug her back. So that is your homework. And I want you to, like cut a video. I want you to go introduce yourself to the trees, to the water. I want you to practice the water song. I want you to sing it out loud. I want you to say hello to the river when you pass it. That's something that we always do, right? Every time we cross a river or a lake, we always say hello. Say, "Hello, river. We're home." Or, "Oh, goodbye, river. We'll be back soon." Because it's our friend. It knows us, and we've proven in science that
It's next to it.
it actually hears us, right? So when we speak out loud, it actually feels it. So I want you to challenge yourself to do that more, is to speak out loud to the trees, speak out loud to the water, sing for the water, because it's alive and it hears us. And for me, this is one of the most important teachings that was almost lost through the tragedies of residential schools. And so when we relearn these teachings, when we take them back, when we amplify them and put our energy towards them to change things, that's how we make a difference. So Nyawa Goa, Nyawa in Mohawk, what does that mean, girls? Nyawa?
Goodbye.
Thank you. And Goa means big.
Big.
So
Big
Nyawa Goa. Nyawa Goa, big thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and tag us in all your posts of you out there introducing yourself to the water, introducing yourself to the trees. And I also, for any teachers that are out there, that video, I'm going to play it because we end as we begin. We close things off with gratitude as well. But I asked Dayahande, I said, we've made this really amazing 2.5-minute video to help people reconnect and to help create that relationship of gratitude and connection. What should we do with it? And he said to me, Layla, give it away. Give it away to anyone that wants to start that relationship, who wants to develop that, because every single day that you spend that time just sitting in gratitude, sitting in honoring that relationship, it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. So any teachers out there that want this link to this file, share it with your class. It's a great practice daily. We stand up every day to sing "O Canada," so why can't we every day spend 2.5 minutes to honor our relationship to the land, to the water, to the living world around us? So, Nyawagoa, thank you so much.
How do you say bye, native?
We don't actually say bye, do we? So in Mohawk, we do not have a word that translates to goodbye. We just say, we will see you soon. And we say, Ona Gawahi. Ona Gawahi. Ona Gawahi. We will end it with our Ohanda Garabadegua. And thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We are going to go join all the Orange Shirt Day festivities and represent our orange. So, Nyawagoa.
Ne ungwai sua. Itogari na yo tohage na yangwa niguna. Dayetina warado na yeti nistaha jokwanjade. Itogari na yo tohage na nangwa niguna. Dayetina warado na gahnega sua. Itogari na yo tohage na nangwa niguna. Dayetina warado na gunjo sua. Ta eto na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Dayetina wanado na yutunduni. Ta eto na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Dayetina warado na onokwa suma. Ta eto gari na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Dayetina warado na asa nigunda de kohogua. Ta eto gari na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Dayetina warado ne wahyaniota. Ta eto gari na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Dayetina warado ne gundirio. Ta eto gari na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Dayetina warado ne garunda sua. Ta eto gari na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Dayetina warado ne zita ogua. Ta eto gari na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Warado nagayeri nikawarage. Ta eto gari na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Dayetina warado ne yeti sotogo radiweras. Ta eto gari na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Tatsidawa no warado ne tsidawa tia anje kene garakwa. Ta eto gari na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Dayetina warado na yeti sota asta neka garakwa. Ta eto gari na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Dayetina warado na yodzi stoh kwadonyo. Ta eto gari na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Dayetina warado na diunkiadado. Ta eto gari na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Tatsidawa no warado na sungwaya dizu. Ta eto gari na yutoge na nangwa nigura. Ta eto.